Okay, good morning, everyone. Morning. Can you hear me on the Zoom side? Thumbs up
Yes, we
if you
can.
Awesome. Okay, fantastic. Okay, we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Happy Rotary Thursday. It's nice to see everybody here. I'm getting like the airlines, and I over-invited a little bit once I was 6 short, so I think we're pushing our 20 now because we had some folks show up that I didn't think were going to show up, but we're good. I think we might have 1 or 2 over, so. Anyway, it's nice to see everybody here this morning. We're going to start with the invocation. I think Bill is going to lead us in the invocation this morning. So, Bill, if you don't mind.
Yep. Good morning. Let us pray. Dear Father, we just pray now for wisdom and guidance for our club as we continue to engage in our community and across the world. We just pray for those that are in need, those that are suffering with health challenges and loss during this pandemic. Lord, we just pray for strength for the healthcare workers and all those that are just persevering every day to make it through this difficult time. Thank you for the blessings that you've given us. We just pray for the speaker this morning and just ask that you will bless the work that's ongoing to take care of the kids and the families in our community. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Bill. And we're going to go ahead and do the pledge on the Zoom side. Please, you can remain seated. If you turn the camera, Fred. Dennis?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with guests and visiting Rotarians. So do we have guests or visiting Rotarians? Okay, on the Zoom side, anybody can help me if there's any guests on the Zoom side? And Liz, thank you. You're our speaker today. Thank you for joining us, and we'll introduce you in just a couple of minutes. Thank you again, Liz. Any other guests besides our guest speaker? Okay, let's go on to announcements, brags. Who's got something to share? Who's got some good news or interesting news or notable news? Gene, do you mind coming up here? No. So the micro, so there's burn 3 extra calories and no, I'll move away.
Is this a big fish story? It's not a big fish story. It's a no fish story. No, we have a new grandbaby. It's about he's about 3 weeks to a month old now, and that's number 3.
Wow. Okay, who can beat a grandbaby story? All right.
I got my 92-year-old mother is getting her 2nd shot this week.
That is good news. And I'll share Fred's news. Fred was part of a study. I guess he didn't know if it was placebo or vaccine. He just found out that he had the vaccine. So Fred has his vaccine, his Pfizer vaccine as well. 2nd shot. So Fred's good. All right. We'll go ahead and move over to business. And if anybody has anything else they want to interject, please feel free. So the first order of business is I've had these Paul Harris pins for a little while, and we have a few folks in the room. Larry, I thought you might be here, so I have yours here too, but I'm going to hold on to yours. We're going to socially distance, but John, if you come up over here, John Postle. Taryn, I have you here too. Taryn, if you just social distance from John a little bit. And then Gene, you're here as well. I've been holding on to Gene's pen for about a year now, or it feels that way. But I'm going to go ahead and give it to him, and then Dennis will take a picture of our 3 Paul Harris Foundation recipients. So John Postle is a +5. That means he's giving at least $6,000 to the Paul Harris Foundation. Aaron is a +5 as well. At least $6,000 picture. And then we have Gene's. Gene's a +8. So Gene's giving at least $9,000 to the Paul Harris Foundation. Congratulations, John. Okay, thank you for your generous donations to the Paul Harris Foundation. Another kind of announcement, or maybe maybe it is a little bit club business, but we had a nice Save the Monarch write-up on Facebook from the Save the Monarch Foundation. So we've been doing work. Some of us participated in planting the area for the monarchs, and we're going to continue doing some of that work. Bailey's leading that project, and that's continuing. She's adding some clubs for the local area. So anyway, if you saw Facebook, there's a Save the Monarch Foundation. They had a nice write-up that include, I think they're out of Pennsylvania maybe, and had a nice write-up for our clubs here in Madison on what we're doing. The only other club business I have before we move on is next Tuesday, we have another board meeting, and one of the agenda items in that board meeting is attendance. So, and just to be transparent, and if you guys have any feedback, let us know and let anybody on the board know. We have about a 50% attendance rule for both clubs, the Satellite Club and the Sunrise Club, where you have to at least attend 50% of the meetings, whether that's makeups, whether that's in person, whether that's going to other meetings, whether that's participating in projects. And that we don't follow that. That's in our bylaws, and we don't follow that to the T. So we're talking about whether we enforce that, whether we drop that. So that's going to be a discussion item. Rotary International has dropped the attendance rule from their bylaws, from their constitution. I talked to Mary Grace, and she's our assistant district governor, future district governor, and she said she hasn't heard about attendance in the meeting for a long time. So anyway, we're going to be discussing that. If you have any, and what we're going to discuss is whether we drop that out of our bylaws or we enforce it, or what version should we have. But it's really the whole point, I guess, is to keep our Rotarians engaged in Rotary, whether they're coming to the meeting or not. And what Rotary International found is that taking attendance didn't do that. It didn't make an engaged Rotarian. So anyway, that's what we're going to be discussing. If you have any feedback or thoughts, just let me know, email me, email another board member, and we're going to discuss that during the next board meeting. Out of one of the things that we're going to discuss. Oh, yes, sir. Ron, would you mind? I know people don't want to, but.
But I'll comply.
Thank you. You're a little taller than me, so I'll go ahead and move this for you.
Okay, just one opinion. I know I was supposed to send you an email, but I mean, the point is the camaraderie and service, and we can't have that unless we meet with each other. So early in the club, I mean, we had a strict requirement. I'm teasing John, but I mean, John was the president and told a member, look, you've been not attending regularly, and asked her to either attend regularly or not come. I made a call on another board member, but I mean, it was important to the club, and however many years it's been, 20 years later, my view is we only get to know each other. We only have the camaraderie, the friendship, the banter in this room, and the engagement on projects when we see each other. And to not have an attendance requirement, I think is an error.
Thank you for sharing that, Ron. And if history proved me right, whenever I engage the club on one thing or another, we end up 50% right down the middle. So I don't do that anymore because it doesn't help. So I imagine that same thing with attendance. We'll get about 50% of the club thinking we should have attendance for all the reasons Ron just mentioned, and 50% might think we shouldn't have So anyway, we're going to discuss it. I don't think we'll make any decisions that day that quickly. Whatever comes up, we'll bring it back to the club for more feedback. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. Thank you, Ron. If anybody else has any thoughts on attendance, please feel free to share it with us.
Peter, I got one quick thing. If people were reading the Rotary magazine this last week, they would have saw an article about corporate matching gifts. And one of the things that a lot of people may not know, if their companies give a matching gift or not, they should go in and check with their companies and see if they can. Every dollar that I give to the foundation is matched by Bank America. And I'm sure that some people may be able to get matching gifts if they check with their company and find out that they do have a program for that. And just a side note, the 3 people that you gave to Paul Harris Plus are all members of the Paul Harris Society. And that's how you get up to there. Gene will become a major donor on his next contribution. So just check with your companies and think about becoming a Paul Harris Fellow and making $1,000 contribution a year. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Bill. Okay, that's all the club business I have, and we had Bill shared a couple other things. Does anybody have any other club business before we move on and get closer to starting our program? Anybody on the Zoom side? Okay, so Liz is gonna lead our program in just a couple minutes on the, I think it's the playground, and giving us what we should expect of the playground, of the future of that. One thing I did have, I don't have my slides today. I forgot to put them on the thumb drive, but I was going to mention that if you can share on Monday, February 1st, we're having a Farmers to Families food box drive. So we're not collecting anything, but the program is giving out food. No questions asked. If you go to Celtic Drive, the Madison City School Stadium, from 9 a.m. to noon or 9 a.m. to whenever they run out of food, there'll be boxes of food to give out to families that are maybe hurting from the pandemic a little bit. So if you can share that, just spread the word. That's this Monday, February 1st at Madison City School Stadium on Celtic Drive, 9 a.m. to noon, Farmers to Family Food Box Program. So Mark, thank you for sharing that. If you can share that on your social media, just get the word out. The Kids
Peter?
Kingdom Project. Yes, ma'am.
I would, the Kids Kingdom issue, another issue with the Dublin Park is thieves stealing the rocks out of the River Hope. So there's no hope in the river. If anybody has any ideas about how to secure those, I was thinking concrete, but I don't know if that would work. Anybody out there with construction experience who might be able to assist in that effort, we'd love to hear from you.
Very strong.
What did he say?
I think Carrie mentioned some concrete. Okay. All right. Any other club business or any other announcements? I have a couple of birthdays and anniversaries we're going to celebrate here soon. So Amy Thompson, February 1st. Happy birthday, Amy. I'm not sure if you're on the Zoom, but happy birthday to Amy. She'll be celebrating a birthday on February 1st. And then a couple anniversaries. Eric will be with the club 7 years on the 28th, which is that today? Right? Yeah, today. So today, Eric is 7-year anniversary with the club. There you are, Eric. Congratulations. And Jonathan Frazier will be with the club on the 30th, 1 year. So congratulations to Jonathan Frazier, 1 year with the club. So we have Liz here with the Kids Kingdom today. A couple of things on the horizon. Sunset Club meeting on February 2nd. Kairos will be here for our next hybrid meeting on February 4th. Kairos Prison Ministry with Dr. Mark Brown. One notable thing is February 12th, we're going to do something. We're still working it out with the Senior Center for their Mardi Gras. It's not going to be an in-person kind of thing. It's going to be a drive-through. So I know many of us have participated. I know Bill Holtzclaw has, and many others on the Senior Center. And it's going to be just a drive-through thing. So they're hoping Rotary helps with that, as we've done in years past. We have about $300 budget to help with the Mardi Gras Senior Center. So stay tuned for that. I'm working with Sarah Sledge on what exactly that looks like. But that's being led by their interim director at the Senior Center. So I think that might be a Friday. I'm not sure. And Wheeler National Wildlife Refuge on the 18th and Madison Hospital on the 25th. So we have great programs. Thank you to the pod leaders, and thank you to Eric for putting such great programs together for us. Okay, without further ado, John O'Donnell is going to introduce our guest speaker. Our guest speaker, Liz, is as you can see, is on Zoom. So I'm going to turn the lights off for that. we don't have that great projector that Bob Barnes lets us use today, or usually. So I'm going to turn the lights off so you can see it a little bit better. So John, if you don't mind introducing Liz.
Sure. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. All right. So Liz is the executive director for the Madison Visionary Partners MVP. And I've been working with her a little bit on getting the Kids Kingdom project going. But MVP, you know, they put on the River of Hope, and we've been working with them a bit. And I think it's a good opportunity for our club to partner with them even more moving forward. And already Bailey is on their board, and Mark Jacobson is a ex officio member of the board. So we already are somewhat connected to them, but I think we could do a lot more. They're generating a lot of projects in the community. And this, we went to Kids Kingdom when our kids were little, and I don't know if much has been done to it since, but it's always been a great place. But we have an opportunity to make it really something special in the community. So I'm going to hand it over to Liz, and she'll give you a little more info on MVP and the park. Go ahead, Liz.
Hi, thank you, John, for that introduction. And thank you, everybody, for allowing me to share a little bit about what we would like to do in general with MVP, and in particular on Kids Kingdom. And if you're not tired of seeing me yet, you have another opportunity, because I'll be speaking to you again at the Sunset Club next week on a different project. So like John said, we really had a great experience with the River of Hope, working with other community partners, and especially Rotary, which played a key role in making that project successful. And I agree, there are just so many more opportunities in the community where we can combine our strengths and really get work done on the ground. So I'm really excited about that opportunity. I'm going to share my screen and start a PowerPoint with a brief video in the middle. Please speak up if the technology is not working, so I don't keep talking and you all can't see anything, so would appreciate that. Let me see. Do I have permission? Yes, I'm going to share the screen. Just one moment. Okay. Okay, Madison Visionary Partners. We are a community 501c3 organization, and our mission is to connect people who care with causes that matter to enrich the quality of life in Madison. We believe that we can be a catalyst in the community to achieve our mission, but we can only do it with the passion and the talents of the entire community of Madison. We started in the summer of 2018, and we continued to create our strategic plan, and we launched our board in April of 2019. And as you can see, in a little over a year, we have really done a great job of engaging our community and participating. Hold on just a moment. There's a slight glitch in the slide, if you'll give me just a moment. Okay. Not the right one. Okay. Just one moment, hold on. It is not sharing. I apologize for this little glitch. We don't have the right slide on here. Just one second. Okay. I am sharing again. Let's see if we can start here. There we go. Okay. See if this works. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. We have, in this past year and a half, we have indeed worked on several projects in the community on the ground. We were able to secure a grant from PPG to renovate and decorate the downtown gazebo. As you can see, we are there, and we followed up and did it again this year. As you know from our work together in the River of Hope, we created a wonderful tapestry that describes our community of coming together in times of crises. We raised over $9,000, which we disseminated to nonprofits working in Madison on the ground for COVID relief. We pulled together a coalition of organizations in Madison. And with this coalition, we hope to continue to do projects on the ground that make a difference. Now, one of our visions as an organization is having a collaborative relationship not only with like-minded organizations such as Rotary, but also working with the City of Madison. We recognize that they are doing a lot of work to improve the quality of life, but we also recognize they can only stretch their funding dollars so far. So we see an opportunity to leverage the ongoing projects in the city and to put the missing piece in the puzzle, so to speak, which is philanthropic dollars, to not only support, but to improve those projects. MVP has identified several ways we would like to work in the future in the community in terms of projects such as Kids Kingdom, Home Place Park, the Madison Community Center. We will also be working on community projects during the calendar year, which our new board member, Bailey Erickson, is overseeing. We also would like to support individuals and organizations to be able to give them the knowledge and even the umbrella of our 501c3, so that those in the community that are passionate about work that they would like to do are able to go somewhere to get the help they need to do that. Now, Kids Kingdom, which I'm very excited to say we are partnering with McDab, as well as we did in the River of Hope, as well as several other organizations in the community. Kids Kingdom, as you all know, has been a beloved playground, not only in the community of Madison, but in Greater Huntsville. It is one of the most visited playgrounds in all of Greater Huntsville. It's turning 24 this year, and it really has been loved quite a bit, to the point where it absolutely needs renovation and care. But at the same time, we see an opportunity. As we consider to renovate, repair Kids Kingdom, we see the opportunity to make it inclusive, allowing children of all abilities to play, learn, and grow together. Now, as you all know, the story of Kids Kingdom is an inspiration not only to the community, but actually to MVP. It is that example that sort of was the spark that started the idea of a community nonprofit. Through volunteer labor, community donations, and sheer willpower, the community of Madison came together in an unprecedented way to build what is now our beloved Kids Kingdom playground. Individuals, city government, small businesses, schools, churches, and other organizations raised funds and showed up to work in Dublin Park for 6 days in October 1997. And there they built Kids Kingdom. Not only has Kids Kingdom been one of the most popular play destinations in Greater Huntsville, it continues to be the symbol of what a community can accomplish when everyone works together for a common goal. Now, 24 years later, that idea of community lives on. And in the spirit of community, when Kids Kingdom undergoes its much needed renovations, the City of Madison, through a coalition of Madison's nonprofits, is launching a capital campaign to expand, renovate, and make our beloved Kids Kingdom included, so that children with disabilities can play alongside their siblings and friends. At this point, I'm going to share with you a brief video talking about that Just 1 second. So I'm toggling between platforms, so bear with me. Okay. I am going to share again. Technology. All right, here we go. I can't.
Liz, we can't hear him speaking.
Hold on, let me pause. Let me see. Okay, just 1 second. I'm gonna boost the volume and then it should be running through the mic. 1 second. As I said, technology, it's a blessing and a curse. Okay. Let's see here. Audio. Select a speaker. Audio settings. We'll try this one more time with the audio on. If it doesn't work, I would be happy to share the video via email in a link. Just 1 second. The volume is up. Okay. Okay. Can you hear me speaking?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's give it one more shot. Just one last check. Audio, 4K. We'll see. Is there sound?
No.
No. All right. Okay. All righty. Well, I'm not going to waste any time fiddling with that, so I will continue with the PowerPoint, but I would love to share the video with you. I will share it via email. Okay. As we move forward, 5 reasons why to build an inclusive playground. The developmental benefits. Inclusive playgrounds. Are you guys?
Liz,
Yeah.
Liz, you got to share that, reshare it.
It's God bless. Okay. Here we go. Let me see here. Your guys' screen is in the way. Here we go. Slideshow. Okay. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay, good. The developmental benefits. Inclusive playgrounds allow children to reap the developmental benefits of active physical play. Children are constantly growing and learning. Their brains start developing in the womb and they continue to develop through adolescence. Physical play is an important part of every child's brain development. Multiple studies have shown that physical play can benefit children's physical, cognitive, and social development, giving them a higher level of self-confidence and keeping them healthy overall. This is true for all children, whether they have disabilities or not. So shouldn't all kids have an equal opportunity to partake in physical play at local parks and playgrounds? Encourage creativity. Inclusive playgrounds encourage creativity and imagination by engaging the mind with sensory-rich activities. The inclusive elements are versatile, allowing them to be used in a variety of ways by different users, depending on their needs or abilities. Texture, sound, color, accessibility, All these elements create a much more layered, imaginative, and enjoyable experience for all. Stand out from the crowd. Most parks you see these days have all the same basic non-inclusive equipment. Who wants to play at a basic playground when you can play in an incomparable new playground that has elements you don't see anywhere else? Inclusive playground equipment is unique and creative, making it more interesting and fun for all children to play. Promote diversity. Inclusive playgrounds promote tolerance, acceptance, and diversity in our children. Giving all children the opportunity to play side by side, interact with each other, and learn from one another will help introduce them to diversity at a young age. For a kid to engage in play or even just watch, a child in a wheelchair having fun and participating on the playground, that can change his perception of someone he would normally look at as different from himself. Create a sense of community. An inclusive playground is one where people of all ages and disabilities can come together. Kids with disabilities, adults with disabilities, caretakers of people with disabilities, and even elderly people can enjoy this inclusive playground. The inclusiveness creates a sense of unity and kinship that is instilled in the community and its people. It is, in essence, the definition of community. I posed this question to the group today: how Rotary can help. As you think about this project that's coming up, I would like to ask your organization to consider participating in a variety of different ways. So I leave this question with this group: how can Rotary help? We would certainly love to have your help. Okay. And I'm stopping to share. And this is, I'm not sure where we are on time, but if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer, or at least defer till I can get an answer.
I have a question, Liz. What do you anticipate as being inclusive? Oh, shut up, Mark. What do you anticipate as being some of the things that you're going to do to Keegan's Kingdom to make this project?
I'm so glad you asked that. There is a steering committee that is composed of MVP, McDab, Madison City Schools, the EWE Foundation, Rotary, and we are working with Corey Alfred in Parks and Recreation. And the process as it is now, and I have to say, we were really inspired by the playground that was put into Hampton Cove with the city of Huntsville, and also an independent nonprofit called Grow Cove. And they were very successful in their campaign to engage the community, to raise funds, to support an ongoing city project, to create their own small inclusive playground. And so the process to get this information about what elements we want, how we want to put them in, is as follows. We have the steering committee. They are reaching out to designers who are able to price out what the equipment will cost so that we can have our fundraising goal. McDab has a lot, as you can imagine, of disability statistics for the community. In addition, we would like to roll out a survey online in which families with children with disabilities can answer the survey. Because as you can imagine, there are quite a few. There's a spectrum of disabilities. And we believe that, in Madison, we can get a picture of what those are, and that will contribute to deciding on which equipment we would like to put into the design of Kids Kingdom based on the needs, the unique needs in Madison.
Hey, Liz. This is Mark. And just to give everybody kind of an idea, this is going to be a complete redo of Kids Kingdom, a complete kind of demolition and rebuild, but keeping as much of the named opportunities from the original as possible. Right,
And
Liz?
the theme, yeah, and the theme. of Kids Kingdom. That hard work and that vision will not go away. I do know that the elements that we would like to put in, one thing that's really come up is sustainability. And so choosing elements, now we have so much more technology than we did years ago. And so the hope is that by investing in some of this new equipment, we will keep maintenance costs down and the playground will be sustainable for a much longer period of time.
Yeah, and there's also going to be components for STEM to try to make it somewhat science and arts oriented as well. So trying to incorporate quite a few different pieces to this. Some of the artwork I saw, some of the other parks, really some cool stuff. And I know they'll have some initial drawings soon. I think they're out to looking for construction bids that will provide some concepts. I don't know when we're going to get those, Liz. You know.
Yes, and that is again the great thing about working in a coalition is that each partner brings their talent and their experience to the table. So McDab is working very closely with the city, obviously, and with Parks and Recreation, and they are reaching out to designers as we speak. And so they're getting ideas and bids in at no cost. In the beginning of the project, we were concerned that we would have to pay for design specs, but you know, McDab brought Matt McCullen to the table, and he is out there wheeling and dealing and getting these design bids in. And so I think that hopefully the goal is to have a potential design by February.
Well, let me ask this. You said that, am I to understand that you're going to demolish Kids Kingdom as it stands?
I can't answer that question in all honesty, but I would never use the word demolish. Not at all.
It's destroy the property.
We're gonna TNT that guy. No, I know that the plan is to be respectful and to be strategic. And so elements of Kids Kingdom will continue to stand. Deconstruct, exactly.
So my question then is, if we deconstruct, is there an opportunity to recycle that, what's deconstructed, to another area or another place that could use it more efficiently?
I would defer that question to Parks and Rec, and I'd be happy to follow up with you on that question. But my gut reaction is that part of the reason we need to replace elements is because those elements are unsafe and unusable. So I don't imagine they would want to put that in another playground, if that makes sense. I mean.
Okay, thank you.
We're going to try to store the old components in the shed along with the parrot stuff. It'll fit. But you know what? Once we get some of these concept drawings going, I think we could take a look at how can Rotary help out with the project. You know, we have opportunities for signature projects, donating money, but also our club comes together when there's labor involved. If we hold some types of fundraising activities or communication activities, we can get involved with those things as well. So as we roll this out, we just want to keep in touch with MVP and just determine how Rotary can best help as this project goes along. Okay.
Hey Liz, we had a question on this side from Chris. What's the timeline look like right now for this?
We don't have the timeline set until we have the design, but I would imagine most campaigns on this scale from start to finish, and keep in mind we've started about a month or a month and a half ago, is about a year-long project. But if we get the design done in February, then we can roll out the fundraising composition. And I do know the project has the complete support of the city. So, you know, if we can really galvanize our piece of it, which is the philanthropic piece of it, to fundraise, and we are super successful, I see that timeline decreasing and us being able to move at a much faster pace.
Any other questions?
Yeah, have they ever done a survey on how many people outside of Madison use the Kids Kingdom? I doubt it, but.
You know, again, that's another Parks and Rec. Hey, we should have Corey here next time. That's a Parks and Rec question, but anecdotally, I believe they do have quite a bit of visitor information, which is how they knew that for a long period of time, Kids Kingdom was the most visited playground in Greater Huntsville.
I think so. So it benefits more than just Madison.
Yes.
Okay.
And as we pursue funding and grant funding, you can be sure that will be on our grant application.
Well, there you go.
Very good. Any other, thank you, Liz. Any other questions for Liz while we have her here? Any questions on the Zoom side?
I do have one more, one small thing. Ron Hicks is with us today.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Hey,
Good
Ron,
morning.
it's nice to have you join us. Welcome again to the club. I think you've attended one or two of these before. So nice to have you. I think Emily might reach out to you soon to see how we can maintain that connection with you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for pointing that out, Cynthia. Okay, anything else for Liz? Liz, thank you again for joining us. I think it's almost time that you become a Rotarian, maybe, with as much as you join us on these meetings. So we'll see.
I know, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Anything else before we'll close a couple minutes early? Again, on Monday, we have the Farmers for Families program. If you know any families, just share the word. Anything else before we close with the four-way test? All right. If not, please stand. Fred, if you don't mind angling the camera. There we go. Of the things we think, say, or do, first.
Is it the truth?
Second.
Is it
Is
fair
it
to
fair
all
to all
concerned?
concerned?
Third.
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
And fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
All right. Thank you all. Have a great day.